Manchu Bhatt, senior journalist, also with us, Advocate Manasvi Thapad, political analyst, Mr. Ashok Singh, director of Board Mass Education, also joins us on the show. Mithali, I'll begin with you. Well, first of all, how do you rate this move by the government? This is obviously important, but a question on a number of people's mind would have been, if this had been constituted a lot earlier, we would have saved ourselves the trouble of so many paper leaks and so many anguished students.
No, absolutely. We have to, thanks a lot for having me on the show. We have to obviously respond to the crisis that, that is plaguing our education system today. I would say, I want to just, break my remarks into two parts. Firstly, on the constitution of the committee, it's highly welcomed. It's a very, very responsive move on the part of the government. The constituents of the committee currently chosen all have, phenomenal level of experience, each and every person that you listed. However, I would say that on the committee per se, it would have been very good if they had brought in some representation from the youth. I'm not just talking about the Gen Zs who were protesting, maybe not even them, but at least having some young people who have taken these exams in recent years and are currently working in education or are working in journalism and who understand, who have a pulse of the students of today. And there are many advisors, who are out there who understand how students feel. Educators, they should have, at least one or two of them should have been in the committee. The second point is on the wider education system. Today the discussion is around exam leaks and paper leaks. That's the thing that has come to the surface. But underneath the surface, like any iceberg, we know that there is a lot that's bubbling in. And I think the overall examination of education reforms, not only on papers, but also on the overall education system, on the effectiveness, on the implementation of the national education policy. We need education reforms to function as though they were economic reforms. Because when we did our economic reforms in 1991, it brought us to the economy that we are in today, right? We got in a 6%, 7% growth rate. Similarly, if we have education reforms on a mission mode for the next 3 years, this government can rewrite the history of the Indian economy through the innovation that it will unleash through education reforms, because human capital is the number one input into economic growth. So I really feel that, the time has come, the committee is formed, let's make it more representative and let's widen its mandate over time.
All right, let me bring in Manasvi also into this conversation. Manasvi, it's a simple question. The government's move, and they have moved fast. The Prime Minister himself has put out a video saying that this task force is going to change the shape and transform the education landscape, which has been in the news for all the wrong reasons.
I think it's a great step. I have been criticizing the government from day one since this protest started, but right now I would want to congratulate government to act so swiftly. I think that is where the country moves forward. There are problems, and India is a very large democracy, the largest democracy of the world. The temple of the democracy is the parliament, and when decision makers are making right decisions, there are going to be shortcomings, there are going to be issues, and that issues have to be overcome. And I think the prime minister is walking the talk, and this time he understands the power of Gen Zs. This time he understands these are not MPs which can be bought easily. These are not MPs and political parties by ED, CBI raids, which would be where they can take them down. But these are people, these are common people, common Gen Zs, the future of our country, and they are demanding simple things. We need a election, we need an education system which is airtight. We need an education system which is airtight, which is leak proof. That is what they are demanding, and Prime Minister understands this. In the last 12 years, we have not seen any kind of Andolan, we have not seen any kind of breakage in the system against the Prime Minister. For the first time, these are non-political people. We could say that they are backed by some political people, but the faces are non-political, unheard people. And there have been memes. People thought that, even I was one of them who thought that this is not going to turn into a protest. Gen Zs are too busy in social media, but they proved everyone wrong. And that's why, for the first time, we have seen NDA coming down on its knees. I would not say that it coming down on its knees, but I would say a very congratulatory thing for the government. A government which was believed to be arrogant, a government which was winning everything, be it elections, be it MPs from other political parties, be it winning by 2/3 of majority in other merging political parties into NDAs, doing everything, be it CBI, ED, be it corruption cases, be it getting by any tools, they got everyone in their system. But Gen Zs was something who were the first vote. Prime Minister very confidently have said in the first election, second election, third election, your first vote should go on the face of Narendra Modi, and people voted him. And the same people when questioned him, and Prime Minister is now walking the talk, is a great thing. Though it is little late, but I won't say it is over for our country. India is a large country, have a great future, and the future is being protected. And with such kind of commendable people coming on job from different walks of life with the idea of protecting the education system, it's a welcome step, and there should not be any criticism on that particular front. It should be a way forward for our country in the education system, and we have to digest it, we have to see how it's going to move forward. And before we criticize on that system or that particular panel which is being formed right now, I feel it is too early to say that, but I think it's a very good, great step. And Prime Minister coming out as an education minister himself and making sure that the system is getting improvised for the first time. I would say in the last 12 years, for the first time, there is one particular ministry in which the system is getting improvised. The entire system is getting revamped. The corruption is going to be zero, I feel so. And that is where the country will move forward. India has great potential. Our Gen Zs are the future of the world, not only India. They have great potential, and that needs to be protected, that needs to be loved, and that needs to be cared. And with this kind of panel being formalized, I feel that's a great moving step forward.
Mr. Himanshu Bhatt, your thoughts on this panel? Obviously, it's important to understand that things cannot happen overnight. They will take time. But the choice of people which has been put in, the Prime Minister has also included somebody, who's been part of the opposition in the past. So there is outreach across the aisle.
This is a great message to the people who are agitating. And Prime Minister has set an example that, there will be a change in the system, and there will be a change in the system for good. Because it's not the first time the paper leak has happened. Let's not forget that. It is the 34th time. And as we speak, in last 7 days, there have been paper leaks in Punjab, Kerala, Karnataka, everywhere. But nobody is talking about it. Let's forget that. We are not discussing that today. But this is a clear message to the Gen Z that government has the right intention for the Gen Z. And that government must respect that. People should respect their government which they have chosen. And they should believe a little in it. When a task force is constituted, you don't raise the question that this person is not right and that person is not right. Because people are from the proven credentials. Can you replace Nandan Nilekani? Can you replace Somnathji? That is the moot question. And when technology, when the furthering of technology, advancement in technologies, I would say a very simple thing which a layman can understand. And that is, why not for a paper like NEET have a bank of 2 lakh, 1 lakh, 2 lakh questions, and the students get it at the time when they are taking up the exams. They don't know which one of them is going to be, which 5 of them are going to be asked for them. And that can go added up every year. So what I'm trying to suggest is, having a technocrats in the panel task force makes the job of a government very, very simplistic and very, very, what we call it as a streamlined one. And now comes the question of this, the task force will make the report. But if the laws are not stringent, still you will have those paper leakers from X, Y, Z parties coming out and doing the same thing which they have been doing. And for that, there needs to be a constitutional provisions, and which is going to come in this week, the week starting tomorrow. And there, the real test of Gen Z will come. The real test of Gen Z will come whether they will understand who is for the Gen Z, who is for the young Bharat, and who is not. That would be made clear with it.
Mr. Singh, this is a task force, not a committee. They are not observations which have been concluded in the past. Some of them have not been acted upon by various governments time and again. How must the government ensure that this task force is transparent, it communicates regularly, because that's what the Gen Z ideology is, that communication is going to reduce any kind of a misunderstanding. How are all these tenets important, sir, for this task force to succeed?
See, other panelist has already told about political aspect, the Gen Z aspect. What I'm going to tell you here is, see, without getting emotional, we need to have a concrete plan how you are going to conduct examination. Number one, see, whatever credibility of this committee carries, we need to see the result. In India, no, every week there is exam. It's not only about question of need. Every week there will be exam. So there are other exams also. NEET PG is also going to conducted on 30th of August. Then you have CLAT, then you have CAT, then so many exams in the month of January. Again, JEE main will come. How soon the committee can rectify the loopholes? Number one, it will take time. I'm telling you, it's not going to solve very soon. Number one. So what I'm suggesting here, whatever committee decides, they should publish the draft for the public. Let people like us, like parent, student, they should also comment or give suggestion to the committee so that the problem gets solved for longer term. Number one. Number two, whatever they are going to act as a bill and other things, see the punishment part, I think that will get passed in Lok Sabha and further Rajya Sabha also, because nobody will oppose those kind of things. Punishment should be strict if paper leak happens. So that is second part. Third part is you need to understand the value of exam. See, we on media platform, we are talking because problem has happened. Even I'm talking about the exam conduction and the way we are evaluating a student, we need to understand this deeply. A committee should understand how we are going to evaluate exams, even board exams, even engineering entrance exam, medical entrance exam, and the committee, whatever committee decides, put that draft for the public. Let public also give you suggestions, because the youth or the student, that's the biggest economy mover or economy driver for any nation. If you will empower youth, if you will impart good education, or if you will skill your youth, youth will contribute and make your economy grow faster. So without getting emotional, we should understand all this parameter and let committee react. Whatever committee decides, let then we can discuss about the reform process and law, everything. I think Monday, tomorrow, whatever happens in parliament, let other people also have their own idea, suggestion. Government should listen, even the opposition party, what they are suggesting. If you are contributing for the development of youth, development of student, that should be welcome.
Okay.
This is what
my
idea.
Let me bring in Manasvi once again. Manasvi, on the back of the CJP protest, there are a couple of more that are brewing at this point in time. I just want to understand, where do you stand on this modus operandi when it comes to using causes through protests to get the government to do what they want? One is, of course, the Reservation Hatao Andolan, a page which was formed just 4 days ago, has about 1 million followers. On 4th of August, we are learning that taxis and truck drivers are also going to stage a dharna and walk towards the southern because of ethanol. What kind of idea has this protest given? And do you think that some of these ideas may also set a bad precedent?
I don't think so. I think, on the contrary, democracy is a living concept and constitution is a living document. You evolve. There cannot be a rigid concept in a country because we are not autocratic. We are evolving as a country, and that is where Bharat has been. When protest by Mahatma Gandhi or protest by Bhagat Singh started, and it was all evolutionary. At that time, it was against the government, but these protests were something which led our country towards freedom. And I think this is where, if there is a problem, if there is a problem in the system, if there is someone who's at the ground level being hurt by ethanol, or who's at ground level being hurt by reservation, who's at ground level being hurt by paper leaks, who's at ground level being hurt by corruption, who's at ground level being hurt by any issue in our country, and their voice is not raised by either the opposition or the people in power, what else they have? The only way they can move, or only way they can be heard, is through protest, and a peaceful protest is welcome. And that is why the concept of Jantar Mantar in an independent India, to have the right to protest, been established by our country, and it is a guarantee by the constitution, backed by hundreds and hundreds of judgments in the Supreme Court. So I don't think that's a problem. I think that is welcome. And listening to the protesters, if there are legitimate demands, listening to the protesters, if there are legitimate demands, it only makes our country move forward. It only takes our country and society to the next level. And that is why, be it Anna Hazare movement, India against corruption, we all as a nation wanted India to be corruption free. How far have we gone from that? That's questionable. But that protest actually brought in light that corruption is a demak, and that demak needs to be out of that society. And similarly, be it Nirbhaya Hatyakand, establishing anti-rape laws came after that. So that is how society moves forward. And questioning the government is only democratic. The problem here was, when government was being questioned, either they were called jihadis, Khalistani, terrorist, Atangwadi. That is where question came up. Questioning the government is not anti-democratic. Questioning the government is nationalistic. Even Subhash Chandra Bose questioned British government, and that is why nationalism comes out. Even Mahatma Gandhi did it. Even Bhagat Singh did it. You have to question the government, be it British India or be it government of India. Until you question the government, you will never know what the nationalism is going to stand for. And that is where you cannot be a puppet of the government. You cannot, and you should not be. You may love your government, and that you may respect your government. You may at the same time, with that same respect, you also have to have that courage to have that questions against the government. And if we have right to information, we should also have that right to question, and that should be empowered by the government. You should not fear to ask a question to the government. When the fear comes in, there is where the democracy goes down. The fear should be out in a democracy. You should have that courage to ask, and that courage should be given by the government. And that is where you move ahead as a country. I feel it's a great step to protest, but at the same time, that protest should not be driven by personal agenda. That protest should not be driven by a category of people who want to make sure that the government kneels down. The government should not kneel down to such demands. The government should understand the demands of common people and address to them. And protests, I don't think at large, are wrong.
All right. On that note, we're going to dip into a short break, but appreciate everybody who joined in and spoke their hearts out. We'll be right back.